Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, your YouTube Messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Team Vicious. And we are going to be talking about Battleground. It was the SmackDown pay-per-view, was held in my beloved hometown of Philadelphia. And first things first, on behalf of the city of Philadelphia, I would like to extend an apology for the CM Punk chants that they did wind up eventually chanting at one point. Now, I know I try to keep this up, and I'm not going to lie, folks, sometimes I straight out forget, you know, and I blame Wade for, yes, you, and stop doing that to the intern. Anyways, I tend to forget trying to put out the overall score for the shows. You know, not gonna lie, folks, straight up forget. I'm gonna try and keep on that as much as possible, but overall score for this show, I give it 5.5 to a 6. I mean, on paper, everything sounded good, crisp, razor sharp. The overall product, though, at the end did not meet up to expectation on that part, you know. But either way, moving forward, first match, it was the pre-show Aiden English versus Ty Dillinger. English wound up getting in control. English, I'm relatively surprised he was in a good amount of control for overall the match. Ty, he started to build up a small bit of momentum, but English wound up putting that to a halt relatively quick. And, you know, it was actually kind of interesting because English even had Ty Dillinger up on his shoulders and was mocking him instead of doing the 10s like that, up like that, saying he's going to give him a straight out 0. But match came to an end when English had Ty Dillinger in a full Nelson like this and then flipped him over, and then he went over, wham, landed face first, and then 1, 2, 3, that was it. Aiden English won. Yes, Aiden English won. That was not an error. Now, either way, on to the main show. First up, we got tag team action. New Day versus Usos. Usos SmackDown tag titles are on the line. Now, right off the bat, now, it was Woods and Kofi in this match, which is something a little different than they normally do, considering they tend to have Kofi and Big E. But either way, the second, I mean like the very split second, the bell rang. Boom! Kofi hit Uso 2 with a drop kick, and then proceeded to start going to pummel on him. Tagged in Woods. Woods started working on him. Woods eventually wound up turning into the team punching bag, but the match, honest to God though, this was a great match. This was a good tag team match. I wouldn't say it was tag team match of the year quality, but this was very much so a great match because of the sheer fact of the amount of storytelling that was in the match, the amount of near falls that happened. There were a great amount of near falls, and it wasn't overly done though, you know. It was more so like, oh man, whoa, they just hit that move. That should be it. What the fuck? No way. But, yeah. You know, when Kofi got the hot tag in, you know, he started to clear house, tagged in Woods after he started to clear house, went up to the top, went to go do the trust fall, Usos caught him, hoisted him up, double powerbombed him outside onto the mat, and then they proceeded to start working on Woods again. Woods started getting it. Woods was getting put on the ass end of an ass whooping for a bit, and then eventually wound up Woods started to mount a comeback, tagged in Kofi, and they hit this move. They said it was their finish, was not. You know, I blame Facefuck Phillips for that call, for that spotty call. But Woods had one of them on a backbreaker, and Kofi came down from the top, knee first, boom, right onto the face. Usos wound up going to hit it. But either way, how the match came to an end. Match came to an end. Woods was down for the count. They were both Usos were up on opposite corners getting ready to go and do the double superflies. Next thing you know, Kofi, he gets up after a minute, after being beaten up for a minute, goes, distracts the one Uso, pulls him down. Next thing you know, that buys Woods enough time to be able to move out of the way from the splash. Kofi comes in, boom, hits Trouble in Paradise. And then next thing you know, Woods, he goes over, does that tightrope walk on the ropes, and then proceeds to jump and do the elbow. Yep, and then 1, 2, 3. So now we got new SmackDown Tag Champs, and now they're in the books for not only being the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions in history, they are now the only tag team to have Raw and SmackDown tag titles. Moving forward though, next matchup we got Shinsuke Nakamura, the only man who can properly use the term swag, going against Baron Corbin. Now, probably the funniest part out of all of this match had to be when JBL said that these guys were both the best strikers in the business. Really? I mean, Nakamura, yes, that's fully believable. I mean, he is the king of strong style, but saying Baron Corbin is one of the best strikers in the business. Really? Oh, God. I feel so sorry for that man sometimes. I think he drank himself stupid. Either way, as far as the match goes, it had a nice sizing up for a way to start, you know. They were trying to work each other, and then Corbin eventually worked Nakamura outside the ring, and anytime Nakamura went to go back in, Corbin wound up getting near the ropes. It was to the point that eventually Nakamura just grabbed his foot, brought him down. Now, it was very more so like a slugfest. They were swinging at each other. You know, it was very much so like a striking fight. Striking match, as opposed to like a actual kind of like technical wrestling match or something. You know? I mean, these two guys, they didn't look like they were really comfortable with each other, but there was a lot of physicality, like they were really more so striking. You know, and honestly, I don't know on how else to describe it. It seemed more so like striking-based kind of a match, you know. I mean, Corbin, I'll admit, he has improved leaps and bounds since he's come onto the main roster, but still, though, I do not see him as the next guy, you know. Honestly, I think he needs to still be polished up some before he gets put into that spot. But, you know, I'm not one to really argue saying he should or if he shouldn't, you know. I'm just speaking from a fan's perspective, you know. And while on that topic, honest to God, I know a majority of y'all out there who watch this feel and think the same way, but way too many fans a good chunk of the fans need to pull their heads out of their collective asses and realize we are the fans. We do not have say or creative control on the show. Who wins, who loses, or anything in between. Seriously, y'all are the reason that fucking wrestling fans get such a bad rep via the internet. Now, with that said, back to the Nakamura-Corbin match. Match wound up coming to an end via a DQ. Nakamura, he had Corbin down for a count, hit him with an exploder. He was in the corner sizing him up for the Kinshasa. Saw Corbin was straight out down like, you know, and then eventually he went over, went to go pick him up. Corbin just, boom, mule kicked him right in the ding-ding. Next thing you know, ref called for the bell, so Nakamura wins via DQ. After that, he starts to walk away, comes back, proceeds to beat up Nakamura some more, and then leaves. So, we're going to wind up getting a match between these two again, more than likely at SummerSlam. You know, if not at SummerSlam, you know, hopefully sooner, like just have it end on the TV, and then proceed to start building towards something new. But either way, next matchup, we got the Fatal 5-Way, a woman's elimination match. Becky Lynch going against Tamina, against Natayla, against Lana, against Charlotte. Now, Naomi, she was out on commentary, and for whatever reason, I don't know. I mean, she's decent on the mic, but as far as commentary goes, she's about as bland as the paint behind me. You know? And I'm not knocking her on that, you know, I'm not knocking her mic skills, I'm just saying her commentating, you know, because she is way too much of a generic baby face on there saying, oh yeah, I'll be willing to face anyone, you know? I'm a fighting champion, I'll fight anyone. No! Show some initiative, show some originality, be like, you know, I'd be willing to go against anyone, but, you know, that one, if I was going to have to fight that one, I'd have to go in there with this kind of a game. Or if this one, I'd have to go in there like that. You know, something. Just, either way. Now, with the match, as far as the match goes, there was pretty much mayhem all over for a good bit. You know, saw Tamina and Lana really starting focusing more so. They were trying to double team Charlotte until Becky wound up coming in. Becky Lynch wound up taking out to excuse me. Becky Lynch wound up taking out Lana and Tamina, or was it? Oh, trying to think now. Yeah, it was Tamina and then Lana were both taken out by Becky. Sorry, I had to think for a minute. Now, and then after that, immediately, Natalya wound up doing a quick roll-up on Becky. 1, 2, 3, so it was down to just Natalya versus Charlotte. And, you know, this, I liked this match because, wasn't a fan of all 3 eliminations being so quick, but the fact that everyone had a platform, that all the girls had a chance to shine and perform, you know, and show what they got. You know, but either way, wound up coming down between Natalya and Natty. Hart versus Flair, once again, you know. But this was it was decent between them one-on-one. You know, Charlotte, she looked like she had it in her, she went up, you know, as far as on how the match ended, she went up to go do a moonsault, Natalya, knees up, blocked, and then when Natty went to go do a quick roll-up on her, she did a roll-up, next you know, her head, boom, bounced off the turnbuckle and then rolled her back over. 1, 2, 3, that was it. So we're going to have Natalya versus Naomi at SummerSlam. Okay. You know, Natalya, honest to God, and I've said this a million times before, and I'm not knocking her in-ring skills or anything, but the only reason she's still in the company is because of the fact that she's a Hart. You know? You just get the cat out of the bag and say that now. She is. That's the only reason. You know? Next matchup, U.S. title match. Kevin Owens going up against Uncle Allen himself, AJ Styles. And Owens real aggressive right at the start, you know. Really nice. Owens, you know, right after the feeling out process, the startup, right off bat, you know, like, it was like almost instantly, Styles was on Owens, like, he was able to, like, move around or bounce over or counter anything Owens had until eventually they were outside, Styles went to go do a running forearm onto him, missed, and then next thing Owens hoisted him up and split the difference between them right on the ring post, just right in the ding-ding. And then Owens proceeded to have the upper hand, you know. He had the upper hand for a bit. Styles started to come back. There was really great back and forth between these guys. These two killed it before in a House of Hardcore show. I can't remember which one, but it was during the time when Styles was still IWGP champion. But, you know, either way, these guys were great. It was a great matchup all around. You know, we wound up eventually, how the match started, eventually wound up coming to a near end. What match came to an end. Styles went to go and set Owens up for the Styles Clash. Next thing you know, Owens countered, hoisted Styles up, and threw him, and I mean like picked him up and threw him like a pillow or a sack of potatoes, wound up hitting the ref. That was probably the ugliest ref bump I've seen in a long time, and that's a compliment, you know. Which after that, then Styles proceeded to go and lock. They did a submission a small little. Well, I don't want to say clinic, but I don't know any other word to really describe that small little section. It was Styles wound up having the calf killer locked in, and then eventually Owens was able to reverse it into a crossface, and then Styles reversed it himself into a crossface. And then Owens wound up reversing it himself into a pin, and then got 1, 2, 3. So Kevin Owens wound up winning via like a Bret Hart finish at WrestleMania when he went against Roddy Piper. Not arguing, I'm not saying that was a good or bad finish, I'm just saying, because both guys I absolutely love and I got nothing but mad respect for, you know? But either way, I'm just saying that's that. Now, next match up, we got Rusev versus John Cena in a flag match, and honest to God, folks, this was just really poor booking on Creative's part, in my personal opinion. Like, okay, understand Cena's a free agent now, so you can't really do too much, you know, and not only that, as much as Cena says he's not a part-timer, yes, you are, John, because guarantee, you'll stay here, you'll be here for a few more weeks, you'll help build and hype up SummerSlam. You'll probably even have a match at SummerSlam. And then you're going to leave again. You'll be gone for 2, 3, possibly even 4 months. You know, promoting a movie or a TV show, publicity, you know, for publicity things or whatever the hell. And I can give two shits on that. But what gets me is as much, you know, those years ago, as much as you burnt The Rock for doing all of that, you're now in that same boat, and yet you still refuse to identify yourself in that kind of a light. No. Now, as far as what this match goes, it was more like a power struggle, and it was like a keep away-ish sort of thing, you know? When after both flags were down, it was more so in that kind of a light. But what got me more than anything was, okay, obviously they changed the rules of a flag match where you have to just take the opponent, where you have to take your country's flag down. Now you have to take it down and then walk all the way down the entryway and put it on a pedestal. Okay. And for whatever reason though, it was like, they're not allowed to grab not allowed to grab your opponent's flag, because, honest to God, easy enough. Easy enough. Rusev, he had multiple chances to assure victory. You know, John Cena was knocked out. You know what you do? Get his flag, and boom, take it all the way back down to the beginning of the ring. That way, he has to go all the way down there to grab it so you can get the advantage. After you move said flag down, go back over, work Cena some more, make sure he stays down, get yours, and then put your flag down and claim this planet in the name of Mars. You know, not that hard. But either way, for whatever reason, they weren't allowed to touch each other's flag, which confused and pissed me off to no end on that matter. But match came to an end. It was Rusev. He was pretty much the dominant over both of them. You know, much like any other time in a Cena match. You know, Cena has to just struggle to beat the odds, and really, we've seen this story with him a million times. We see this story with him in every match he has, you know? And just as Rusev has the accolade locked in, Cena finds the way to muster the strength to stand up, not just stand up while Rusev has it locked in, but counter the accolade, proceed to give Rusev an AA through tables, and then put his flag in to win. You know? So yeah. Now my big concern during all this match was the entire time, while the US flag was down, that's actually a crime letting that flag touch the ground like that. Letting the flag touch the ground. So, are we going to see like the fashion... Are we going to see the Fashion Files do an episode where they go and bust Cena or something? I don't know. Either way, next matchup, Mike Kanellis going up against Sami Zayn. Really like the... Now, Mike, I got nothing but mad respect for. You know, he's a hell of a worker, hell of an athlete. You know, worked from Ring of Honor, wound up working TNA for a short bit. You know, was not a fan of his run in TNA, saying, you know, having him be the Miracle. You know, for whatever reason, that just seemed like a really shitty idea, saying he was the Miracle of the company, you know. But, you know, either way, Mike, he was in control for a good bit of this match. Sami wound up going to mount some momentum, but, you know, what impressed me more so than anything was the fact that they had Mike and Maria there. Maria was there. Never, you know, Maria didn't really run interference so much. You know, and that was what I liked, because honestly, because normally when you see like those couples do the matches, you'll normally see them go and run interference a lot or hear them slamming the mat. Come on, you got this! No, I didn't really see that kind of shit a whole lot. But either way, match wound up coming to an end when Mike was getting ready to size him up for a finish. Sami got back, and the next thing you know, boom, hit the hell of a kick, got the 1, 2, 3. Now, as far as what the match go, now, so that was that. Now, honestly, I talked about with the whole show in general earlier. Honest to God, what I would have done after the women's match, I would have put the Rusev Cena match and the Mike Kanellis Sami Zayn match before the Kevin Owens AJ Styles one. That's just personal opinion though. You know, thought those two matches should have been before the US title match, because the crowd seemed like they were trying to be alive, but it was like, you know, they just couldn't. Now, either way, next matchup, it was the main event of the night, folks. Jinder Mahal going up against Randy Orton in a Punjabi prison match. And as far as weird, stupid gimmick matches go, this has to be my favorite. You know? Now, one thing that I want to know right now, they said it multiple times in there, it's steel reinforced bamboo. How do you reinforce bamboo? How do you make steel reinforced bamboo? Because honest to God, I really want to know, just because I have a few people that I need to talk to in a very not so polite way, and I would like to have a conversation with them with that, having that with me. Yeah. Now, either way, right off the bat, Randy starts swinging at him, Randy started swinging at him. Him and Jinder, they were going at it pretty good. Jinder I am all behind as being champion. You know, the guy worked his way up. You know, the guy worked his way from literally being a jobber to being world champion. You know? Excuse me. And again, I hate using this comparison, but it's very much so like in the way we saw Bradshaw go from Bradshaw into JBL and being world champ. You know? I mean, it's a good, everyone pays their dues. He has, and not only that, he's not doing like that traditional USA sucks kind of anti-US gimmick. What he's doing is more so saying that he's representing his country, and he despises America because, everyone stereotypes him, everyone typecasts him. Everyone thinks he's the guy that works behind the 7-Eleven counter. Would you like a bag for that? He acts, he's talking about on that kind. And that's different than on how saying like the other ways, which really good. Now, either way, back to the match. They were slugging at each other, 3 of the 4 cages wound up eventually getting locked. Randy called for the last one, which Jinder had the other 3 called open. Now, just as Randy looks like he's about to get out, next, boom, the Singh brothers, I don't know how the hell they were able to get in there, but they were under the ring. They wound up working their way to get under the ring. They wound up staying, they were there, proceeded to start slugging at Randy while he was at the door, knocked Randy down. They pulled Jinder out, and then Jinder, he was out in the second part of the cage, all the while Randy has to climb over the first part now. And so as Jinder's working his way up, Randy, he climbs over, jumps to the second part, then proceeds to go work Jinder until he starts to come down, and then the Singh brothers start to work on Randy, and then Randy, he goes to town on them. It eventually turns into a big giant brawl out there, but what gets me is at one point, as Randy, he's starting to climb over, one of the Singh brothers finds a way to worm through the cage to get onto the outside, starts working Randy from the outside. Randy gets him, hits him, gets him, and then he proceeds to fall from like 15, 20 feet onto the announce table. What is with Randy and putting one of these boys, putting one of the Bollywood boys through the table each and every match that they've had so far? Randy's wound up proceeding to put one of the Bollywood boys through a table during each match he's had with Jinder. Can't understand that. But either way, the other Singh brother wound up working Randy to get him down. Jinder, he was working him too. Looked like Randy had the upper hand for a good minute, hit him with the elevated DDT, started to climb. Next thing you know, as he's climbing, boom, music hits, and of all people to come out, all people, I swear to God, the one person who looks like they were typecasted, they were casted for The Hills Have Eyes. Fucking Great Khali. He comes out, and then shakes the cage to the point to where Randy drops a few rungs, and then proceeds to go over and just hand on his throat and choke him out, all the while Jinder climbs over. And so yeah, Jinder wins and is still your WWE champion. So now we've gone from seeing Jinder Mahal serving Great Khali to seeing Great Khali now serving Jinder Mahal. I'm not gonna lie, I find that kind of like, okay, I'm for that, We went from seeing Batman and Robin to Robin and Batman, but either way, that is it for this week's show, folks. So do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch a few other episodes. Make sure y'all look for me on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. I do have another account, Tim_Vicious. Also, make sure y'all look at the information for the Dad Show. I promise you, new episodes soon. It will be soon. Also, I am on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. Do not forget to follow all of these cool-ass cats right here on the Twitter. Axel Mulligan, make sure y'all check out Axel's newest project, Brit Wrestling Review. They talk about British European wrestling, Sunday Segway, Simply Sabrina, Cranky Asshole, Aaron_DeBoer, my executive producer, Oliver Ben, who provides the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check him out. Also, hit him up for one of these Ollie You Want Ben shirts if y'all want. Go and show some love and support to the man. Also, do not forget to follow the other good brother for the Dad Show. I am Danny Sunday. Me, Danny, Ollie. We run that show. We do it our way. And folks, like I always tell you love me, great. You hate me. Fuck this. I want to know.